Okay, so today we're talking about rate of change in rational functions. Let me give you a second to get to this page in your package. And just before we get going, just remember that when dealing with IROC and AROC problems, something to keep in mind is units. We may need units in our solutions. And if you are on this page now, here's a refresher for that general formula. In example 1, they're asking us to find the AROC, the average rate of change, for this function between x equals 3 and x equals 6. As always, we can do our work on the side here for f of 3. Let me actually use a different pen, because that other pen is leaking ink. So 3 plus 1 over 3 squared, which is 9, minus 2 times 3, which is 6. This will be 4/3. And f of 6, let's go ahead and find that as well. And now I can set up my AROC equation. And I'm going to go ahead and substitute in the value of f of 6 and f of 3. And I'm going to utilize my handy-dandy calculator. Substitute these values in. 7 over 24 minus 4 over 3 divided by 3. So negative 25 over 72 is our answer. And in this case, there are no units that are required because we're not given any units. For example, 2, it's asking us to estimate the instantaneous rate of change at x equals 4. So I'm going to go ahead and find f of 4 and f of 4.0001. Again, we want to try to use 4 decimal places. Just to make this a little quicker, I'm going to utilize the help of my calculator. So 4 plus 1 over 4 squared minus 2 times 4 is 5 over 8. And I'll repeat that process with 4.0001. And we get 0.6249. So we'll say approximately 0.6249. And to make your answer as accurate as possible, I would say try to take as many decimal places as you can. So we have 4. Ideally, we want to get more than that. Let's try to aim for 6. And it'll just help make our final answer all the more accurate. If we don't take enough decimal places, our answer will not be a good estimation. So let's set up our IROC equation. F of 4.0001, f of 4, 4.0001 minus 4. And let's substitute in our y values. And 5 over 8, what is that as a decimal? Let's see. That is 0.625. And let's enter this equation on our calculator. 0.624966 minus 0.625 over 4.0001 minus 4. So negative 17 over 50, or negative 0.34. So I'll say that these are all approximations because they're including and utilizing approximate values. And that is our instantaneous rate of change at x equals 4. In example 3, we need to now make sure that we include units in our final answer because we're dealing with a word problem involving volume. Let's see what they're asking us to do in this problem. So a balloon is being filled with water. Its approximate volume in gallons is represented by V of R equals R cubed over 55. R is the radius of the balloon in inches. And I guess volume is measured in inches cubed. Find the average rate of change of the volume of the balloon as the radius increases from 5 inches to 10 inches. So let's go ahead and find V of 5 and V of 10. I'll utilize the help of my calculator here. I'm just going ahead and subbing in those R values into my equation. And now that I have those, I'm going to go ahead and set up my AROC equation. And I just want to make a note of the units. So it looks like in my numerator, my units are going to be inches cubed for volume. And in my denominator, I'm dealing with a radius, so I have inches. So I have inches cubed divided by inches, so my average rate of change is actually going to be represented in inches squared since they're dividing. So just something to note for my final answer. Let's go ahead and sub in those values in my numerator. So 200 over 11 minus 25 over 11 over 10 minus 5, which is 5. And with the help of my calculator, I'll determine what that answer is. And we'll say it's 35 over 11 inches squared. And so, let's see. The average rate of change of the volume of the balloon as the radius increases in this case would be 35 over 11 inches squared. So we'll put a little there for a statement. Therefore, the average rate of change of the volume as the area increases from 5 inches to 10 inches is 35 over 11 inches squared. Okay, homework questions for you to complete are below. Remember in the word problem to include units. You can check what your units are by dividing the units of the numerator by the denominator. And for word problems, don't forget to put a therefore statement as well.